Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Today we will see about the question answers in perioperative nursing. We'll move on to the first question. An adult man is in the post anesthesia care unit following a hemicolectomy. While in the PSU, the nurse will monitor his vital signs. Option 1 continuously, option 2 every 5 minutes, option 3 every 15 minutes, option 4 on a PRN basis. And the answer is every 15 minutes. Question number 2. An adult who has had general anesthesia for major surgery is in the PACU. One of the signs that may indicate that his artificial airway should be removed is option 1 gagging, option 2 restlessness, option 3 an increase in pain, option 4 clear lungs on auscultation. And the answer is gagging. Next question. An adult is 6 days post-abdominal surgery. Which sign alerts the nurse to wound evisceration? Option 1 acute bleeding, option 2 pink serous drainage, option 3 purple drainage, option 4 severe pain. And the answer is pink serous drainage. The rationale is a sudden gush of serosanguinous drainage that looks like pink lemonade is usually the major symptom of wound dehiscence. Next question. An adult client's wound has eviscerated. The nurse assesses his respiratory status because option 1 dehiscence elevates the diaphragm, option 2 coughing increases the risk of evisceration, option 3 respiratory arrest commonly accompanies wound dehiscence, option 4 splinting the wound will compromise respiratory status. And the answer is option 2 coughing increases the risk of evisceration. Question number 5. An adult client has acute leukemia and is scheduled for a Hickman catheter insertion under local anesthesia. A major advantage of regional anesthesia is that the client, option 1, retains all reflexes, option 2, remains conscious, option 3, has retroactive amnesia, option 4, is in the OR for a short period of time. And the answer is option 2, remains conscious. Question number 6. An adult male is scheduled for surgery and the nurse is assessing for risk factors. Which of the following are the greatest risk factors? Option 1. He is 5 feet 4 inch tall and weighs 125 pounds. Option 2. He expresses a fear of pain in the post-op period. Option 3. He is 5 feet 4 inch tall, weighs 360 pounds and is diabetic. Option 4. He expresses a fear of the unknown. And the answer is he is 5 feet 4 inch tall, weighs 360 pounds and is diabetic. Rationale is obesity and diabetes are the major risk factors with the potential for complications related to anesthesia. Question number 7. The nurse in the outline department is interviewing an adult 1 week prior to her scheduled elective surgery. In planning for the surgery, which of the following should the nurse include in her teaching? Option 1. The client will be able to return home alone following the surgery. Option 2. Limitations of oral intake the day of the procedure. Option 3. The laboratory studies order do not need to be done until after the surgery. Option 4. The client should not take any of her routine medications the morning of the surgery. And the answer is option 2. Limitations of oral intake the day of the procedure. Rationale is instruction should be given to the client regarding the limitations of oral intake to avoid nausea and vomiting from the anesthesia. Question number 8. The nurse enters a woman's room to administer 10 mg Valium PO, the ordered pre-op medication for her hysterectomy. The client tells the nurse that she and her husband are planning to have another child in the coming year. The best action for the nurse to is option 1. Do not administer the pre-op medication and notify the nursing supervisor and the physician. Option 2. Go ahead and administer the medication as ordered. Option 3. Check to see if the client has signed a surgical consent. Option 4, send the client to the operating room without the medication. And the answer is option 1, do not administer the pre-op medication. Notify the nursing supervisor and the physician. Rationale is no client should be administered the pre-op medication until the informed consent has been obtained. Informed consent means that the client understands the information about the surgery. Even if the consent form is signed, the nurse should withhold sedating medication. This client clearly does not understand the planned procedure. Next question. The nurse administers 10 mg intramuscular morphine as a pre-op medication and then discovers that there is no signed operative permit. The best action for the nurse to take is to option 1, send the client to surgery as scheduled. Option 2, notify the nursing supervisor, the OR and the physician. Option 3, cancel the surgery immediately. Option 4, obtain the needed consent. And the answer is option 2, notify the nursing supervisor, the OR and the physician. Rationale is if a narcotic, sedative or a tranquilizing drug has been administered before signing of the consent, the drug's effects must be allowed to wear off before consent can be given. Next question. An adult received atropine sulfate as a pre-op medication 30 minutes ago and is now complaining of dry mouth and her pulse rate is higher than before the medication was administered. The nurse's best interpretation of these findings is that option 1, the client is having an allergic reaction to the drug. Client needs a higher of this drug. Option 3, this is a normal side effect of atropine. Option 4, client is anxious about the upcoming surgery. And the answer is this is a normal side effect of atropine. Rationale is these are the normal side effects of an anticholinergic drug. Adverse side effects would include ECG changes, constipation, and urinary retention. Question number 11. An adult who has chronic obstructive pulmonary disease is scheduled for surgery and the physician has recommended an epidural anesthetic. Nurse should know that general anesthesia was not recommended for this client because option 1, there is too high a risk for pressures was developing. Option 2, there is less effect on the respiratory system with epidural anesthesia. Option 3, CNS control of vascular constriction would be affected with general anesthesia. Option 4, there is too high a risk of lacerations to the mouth, bruising of lips and damage to the teeth. And the answer is 2. There is less effect on the respiratory system with epidural anesthesia. Epidural anesthesia does not cause respiratory depression but GA can, especially in a client with COPD is the rationale. Next question. An adult had a bunion removed under an epidural block. In the immediate post-op period, the nurse plans to assess the client for side effects of the epidural block that include which of the following? Option 1, headache. Option 2, hypotension, bradycardia, nausea and vomiting. Option 3, hypertension, muscular rigidity, fever and tachypnea. Option 4, urinary retention. And the answer is option 2, hypotension, bradycardia, nausea and vomiting. Rationale is these are all symptoms of sympathetic nervous system blockade, so that the client should be closely monitored for this. Next question. An adult received droperidol and fentanyl during surgery. In planning post-operative care, the nurse will need to monitor for which of the following during the immediate post-op period. Option 1, restlessness and anxiety. Option 2, delirium. Option 3, dysrhythmias. Option 4, respiratory depression. And the answer is option 4, respiratory depression. The rationale is depression of respiratory rate has been reported and tends to last longer than the analgesic effect when Innovir is used during surgery. Question number 14. An adult has just arrived on the general surgery unit from the post-anesthesia care unit. Which of the following needs to be the initial intervention the nurse takes? Option 1, assess the surgical site, noting the amount and character of drainage. Option 2, assess for amount of urinary output and the presence of any distension. Option 3, allow the family to visit with the client to decrease the anxiety of the client. Option 4, take vital signs, assessing first for a patent airway and the quality of respirations. And the answer is option 4. Take vital sign, assessing first for a patent airway and the quality of respirations. The rationale is a specific assessment priority is the evaluation of a patent airway and respiratory and circulatory adequacy. Question number 15. An adult is receiving morphine through PCA pump after her surgery. The best method for the nurse to evaluate the client's level of pain is by asking the client option 1 to rate her pain on a scale of 1 to 10. Option 2 if the morphine is working for her. Option 3 if she is feeling any pain. Option 4 if she needs her morphine level increased. And the answer is option 1 to rate her pain on a scale of 1 to 10. The rationale is the client should obtain relief from pain and using a scale to assess this is a more objective measure. Question number 16. A 58-year-old smoker underwent major abdominal surgery 2 days ago. During the respiratory assessment, the nurse notes he is taking shallow breaths and breath sounds are decreased in basis. The best interpretation of these findings is that the client is experiencing post-op option 1 pneumonia, option 2 atelectasis, option 3 hemorrhage, option 4 thromboembolism. And the answer is atelectasis. The rationale atelectasis occurs commonly after abdominal surgery, especially in smokers. This occurs when mucus blocks the bronchioles and causes decreased breath sounds and shallow breathing. Question number 17. To prevent thromboembolism in the post-op client, the nurse should include which of the following in the plan of care? Option 1. Place a pillow under the knees and restrict the fluids. Option 2. Use aseptic technique including hand washing and sterile dressing technique. Option 3. Assess bowel sounds in all four quadrants on every shift and avoid early ambulation. Option 4. Assess for home and sign on every shift, encourage early ambulation and maintain adequate hydration. And the answer is option 4. Assess for home and sign on every shift, encourage early ambulation and maintain adequate hydration. The rationale is thromboembolism can be related to dehydration and immobility. These measures help prevent hypovolemia and subsequent sludging of cells. A positive Homan sign is often associated with thromboembolism. Question number 18. It is 10 p.m. and the nurse notes that an adult male who returned from the PSU at 2 p.m. has not voided. The client has an out of bed order but has not been up yet. Best action for the nurse to take is option 1. Insert a Foley catheter into the client. Option 2. Straight catheterize the client. Option 3. Assist the client to stand at the side of his bed and attempt to void into a urinal. Option 4. Encourage the client to lie on his left side in bed and attempt to void into a urinal. And the answer is option 3. Assist the client to stand at the side of his bed and attempt to void into a urinal. The rationale nursing interventions to facilitate voiding include ambulation and normal positioning for voiding. Question number 19. When assessing a post-op client, the nurse notes the nasogastric tube to low constant suction, the absence of a bowel movement since surgery, and no bowel sounds. The most appropriate plan of care based on these findings is to option 1. Increase the client's mobility and ensure he is receiving adequate pain relief. Option 2. Increase coughing, turning and deep breathing exercises. Option 3. Discontinue the nasogastric tubes as the client does not need it anymore. Option 4. Assess for bladder pain and distension. And the answer is option 1. Increase the client's mobility and ensure he is receiving adequate pain relief. The rationale is paralytic ileus can be related to immobility and inadequate pain medication as well as bowel manipulation and the anesthetic used during the surgery. Question number 20. On the second post-op day following an inguinal herniorrhaphy, the nurse assessing the client's wound would expect to find option 1. A small amount of serous drainage, edges approximated and a pink color. Option 2, a large amount of sanguineous drainage and edges pink in color. Option 3, no drainage, the edges brown and coming apart. Option 4, a Penrose drain, putting out large amounts of serosanguinous drainage. And the answer is a small amount of serous drainage, edges approximated and a pink color. The rationale is an inguinal herniorrhaphy should have only minimal serous drainage, straw colored, during the post-op period. Thank you. Please subscribe, like, comment and share. See you in next video.